What are you getting ready to do?
Well, I just got people I know are coming. I got to deal with, and I got shit. I just sat downstairs to kind of try to dissect one of my plants down there in the bedroom. So anyway,
a friend of mine is building a tiny house in his backyard right now.
You allowed to do that?
He's doing it. He's building one in his backyard right now. His name is Fish. He's a carpenter.
Oh, he's doing. Is he gonna like move it out of the backyard, or where's he at?
He's right off of 6 Mile and Palmer Park.
Oh wow.
Area.
So that's a nice area.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely. I definitely was in a house at 7 Mile and Woodward that had a tiny house. It was just called the fucking Butler House above the garage.
Oh, well, no, it's called a carriage house.
Yeah, carriage house.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I lived in a commune that had a carriage house out back.
Yeah.
I lived in Virginia Park.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess it would have been because there's probably horses underneath at one point in the garage.
Yeah. Those houses over there were owned by
Rich people.
Yeah, extremely rich people. So, they had carriage houses, and the servants would live above the carriage house.
1920s is when that went in, I think.
When they started building those houses?
Yeah.
Yeah, late 1800s.
Because my dad wanted to, because we lived in Oak Park at 10 Mile and Coolidge, and he wanted to get the fuck out. It was a little house, you know what I'm saying, 4 kids, 2-bedroom little house, doesn't work. Well, my mom's from the UP, so she wanted to go back out to the country, but my dad almost got us a house in that area because at that time in the late 80s, early 90s, they were cheap as fuck. You'd have to rebuild the whole thing.
Well, part of it,
but you get like a 6-bedroom house that was...
Yeah, and today is worth $1 million.
Oh yeah, easy. But supposedly the choice was made because my mom honestly likes, being out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But it was I think it was because of the fact that the schooling situation.
Yeah.
The fact that I would have had to go to fucking private school or some shit like that, or they felt like they would have had to send me to private school.
They wouldn't want to put you in a public school system in Detroit back then.
No.
Right.
So it was like, well,
it depends though. There were some great schools in Detroit back then. Mumford, Cass. Those were really high-level schools.
Right. Well, my dad, you gotta understand.
Everybody went to school with me. Not everybody. But most of my friends in high school ended up being lawyers, doctors, and judges. Almost, I
believe it.
I'd say half of them were lawyers, doctors, and judges.
Yeah. I'm not saying they weren't. It's just, you gotta understand my dad's perception at the time, I assume.
Well, he's a white guy too, and that was white flight back then.
Well,
leaving out of Detroit.
We weren't in Detroit. We were in Oak Park.
Oh.
We never were in Detroit.
Okay.
My grandparents never were in Detroit. My grandpa bought a house out in Troy in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's when they were building Troy up.
Yeah, 57 or some shit like that. So it was before.
It was farmland out there then.
Hey. Bitch. Now I gotta look. Alright.
Here she comes again.
I know, right back in. You coming in or are you staying out there?
She says, I don't know. Ain't shit out here. I'll come back in and fuck with you guys. How old is she?
8. She'll be 9 in February. Yeah, she's kind of my gauge of because I quit my job like a year, not even a year, probably a couple months before I got her.
What are we smoking?
That's the shit you just trimmed up.
Oh, okay.
It needs to dry some more.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste bad considering.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be good, actually.
Yeah, once you get it in the jar for at least a week.
Yeah.
That won't happen.
It might.
I'll
try.
It ain't going to happen.
I'm going to try. Really? You had to go get the toy?
Dogs kill me. It's something else.
She's like a little 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She's always like a 2-year-old. She's not needy. She's not a super needy dog, but she can be.
My dog is super needy.
Well,
Oh my God.
he's a little fucking Boston. What do you expect?
Yeah, he wants attention all the time. The only time he doesn't want attention is when he's eating and sleeping. Other than that, he's all over me, man. Somebody act like they want to come back here and look at him.
She wants to. Anyway, so, yeah. So I don't know where my grandpa lived before, but I don't. Like I said, they were already. My grandpa, when he came back from the war, somehow I don't know what part of Detroit he came from. Like I don't have any of that info.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like none of that exists. I don't. My mom's family is all from the UP. So.
See, it was the Coleman Young panic.
I thought it was the riots that did it. Wasn't Coleman Young in the 80s?
It was more Coleman Young than the riots. See, the riots.
When did he get elected?
The riots in Detroit were not race riots. They didn't have anything to do with black against white.
Really?
No.
I thought it was because the cops were racist.
Well, yes, but it had nothing to do with white citizens.
Oh, it was just the cops.
Yeah. It wasn't a...
Yeah, but the white citizens are the ones that are compliant to the whole thing and don't give a shit. Well, and to be honest with you, probably felt the same way as most of the cops.
Well, back then, it was a little different.
Did it feel like...
White people didn't really realize what the cops were doing. White people didn't know what the cops were doing.
No.
They had no idea.
There's still a lot.
They had no idea the cops were setting up people and taking payoffs and putting dope on people and all. They didn't know. To them, the cops were their best friends. They lived next door to them.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, what's up, man?
I get it. I got lucky. I was in a small town. If I was down here, I probably would have.
Oh boy.
All right. No.
Hello.
But yeah, small town, lucky. Some goofy cops I knew that, fuck with me.
But it wasn't shit to do in a small town, though, was it?
Fucked up. I got you one here, babe, that you're supposed to like.
What about the one that I have in there?
There's another one for backup. Hey. Relax.
Whoa.
She said that one is like a must try. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I can't. Maybe I was. Maybe that was a past life. Maybe I was somebody in that situation.
The only thing about it is it's made from grapefruit, blueberry, and South African sativa.
Oh, then you're not going to want that one.
No, and it's got a low THC count between 15 to 20%.
Check the Jack Hero. That one's the highest one so far. It's like 96.41. Nah.
What are those cartridges?
Yeah.
What's going on with all this all these vaping deaths lately?
So.
Sativa dominant.
Oh yeah. There's You coming? Are you coming back in?
They have. Well, there's watermelon.
Yeah. And some blackberry.
I think I want to get the blackberry because I wanted to try it last time. I don't remember if I did or not. I can't remember what it's. It's definitely something that I would
Go.
like.
Do what you want to do. What is your problem? Come here.
Maybe so.
I don't know what her problem is.
She's restless.
Yeah, she's just.
She's been doing that all day.
I already took you for a walk.
That creepy sound.
Do you want anything?
I'm good, thanks, babe.
Why all of a sudden all these people dying from vaping?
I don't know.
People
It's not
vaping-
even that many that are dying in comparison to
the amount of people
tobacco.
that are smoking. I know, but why all of a sudden?
It's because there's people out there that, especially in illegal states.
Oh, this tastes good.
That's that stressed out blueberry.
It don't taste stressed out.
Well, it looks stressed out.
I know.
Um,
Damn, it tastes good.
But in these illegal states, and some legal states, I assume it happens too. People get the boxes and they just make what they want.
Yeah. But
You can just buy those boxes offline and buy them, pennies on the dollar, little tiny boxes, and just put what you want in the cart. Or if you get a cart, you take it, you cut it.
it's been nicotine, not cannabis.
It's a combination of either one.
I thought it was all nicotine.
It is, well,
The deaths, I mean.
I think they are too, but I don't know.
Yeah, they're all nicotine
But
related.
they keep bringing up the danks, and people are freaking out about the danks because they don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
And it's something to do with one of the cheaper fluids that they use, like the vitamin E or something like that,
Mhm.
that fucks with your lungs if you're allergic to it.
Because they call it popcorn lung.
So, like, example, you can get schizophrenia if you smoke weed. Granted, you have to be predisposed. You have to have it
In
know
your
what I'm saying?
DNA.
in your head already.
Yeah.
Cannabis, a good strong cannabis can unlock it, and it'll never go away. So there's always a risk if you're somebody that has it, predisposed to it.
Right.
You could get fucking. But again, it's a fraction of the people in the world, and even then, they already have it. So at some point, something's going to bring it out.
Mm-hmm.
Some medicine and shit like that, and it takes
It's in
care
their
of it.
genes.
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily in their genes. I don't know if it's in their genes. I think it might be something, just a miswiring.
Oh, so not necessarily genetics.
No, I think it's all up here. I think either because I don't see, like, most schizophrenics don't come from schizophrenic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's true or not.
What do you mean?
Like,
that's passed down?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that's passed down.
It might not be.
And again, it's a varying scale because you can be.
I don't know. We may be wrong about that. I know a couple of cases.
We probably are wrong
Where the
about
dad was nuttier in the fruitcake and the son seemed normal, but when he got about 21, 22, boop, it came in.
Again, you can't say it wasn't just because of the upbringing, though, because if dad was already fruitier than a nutcake, he's going to pass it on just from influence.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if it's something to do with the wiring in the brain when you're a child, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't really know. They're guessing, and I'm completely guessing out my ass. But the reality, from the time you're born to, like, 5 or 6 years old, that's when your shit's being built.
You're being influenced by it. Yeah.
Not even just being influenced. From the time you're born to the time you're like 12 or 13, your brain is actually being born, like growing and expanding and making new cells and getting bigger. Because your brain isn't the same size as a baby as it is a 12-year-old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So during that process, some kind of event or anything like that happens, and the brain builds in the wrong wiring, and the wrong wiring can cause
schizophrenia
and other things,
or paranoia.
Yeah, because if you have the wrong wiring, like for some reason it was built the wrong way in the area where you hear your conscience, there might be two in there.
It's like some people can't smoke weed because it makes them paranoid.
There's a fucking thing out there where people are freaking out for days. They call it some disease. There's a disease they give. It's not even a disease. It's a symptom. They call it something. And I can't remember what the fuck it was, but it's like you get too fucked up and you're just literally fucked for days. Like you literally can't move. Like you know how
you're not normal.
You're not normal for days.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And some people have to be like. Some people are hospital, and I think it's more just like, yeah, you have a panic attack and then you can't get out of it.
Can't get out of it. You're stuck in there.
You're stuck in it, and yeah, the cannabis can do that. But maybe it's because you need to change some shit in your life. I think people need to look inside when those panics happen.
Yeah, they do, but we all have made up of different shit.
Right, and not everyone can look inside. But at the same time, that's because we're not taught to. If we actually teach people to look inside before they look out. Our society's a Christian society, and Christians give away all their sin.
It's like this week, Howard Stern is out in California.
Yeah, he was on Bill Maher. It was an interesting interview. To be honest with you, it made me want to start listening to Stern again because I miss him.
You know, this is how I do Howard Stern. When they do dumb shit, I turn it off. I turn to something else. Then I turn back later. I like to hear his interviews and certain things, but he does do a lot of childish, dumb shit that I'm not interested in even hearing.
Well, it's his whole gig.
Right. Shock jock. I understand that. So when that stuff comes on, I turn to a different station. But I do like his commentary, and I do like a lot of the guests he has on there.
Right.
Because he had Snoop Dogg and Seth Rogen on there together. That shit was hilarious, man.
You can't get it unless you have Sirius.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, do I really want to pay?
Well, they have an app.
I know they have an app.
Oh, you meant to have Sirius to get to the app, though.
Yeah, you still have to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's part of the whole.
I don't have to pay for it.
No, because it's in your
All right.
contract.
Yeah. In fact, I just haven't did the app yet. I got to figure out how to do it.
Oh, well, let's just download it.
Because it's free to me because I already got a Sirius.
Subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, but there's nothing else on there I want, like. And on top of that, I barely have time for the podcasts I listen to.
Check it out. Well, that's how I started doing. You know, actually, Howard Stern started me listening to podcasts.
It was because of Howard Stern that I probably liked podcasts, because I feel like podcasts were in the same vein as a Stern show.
It's free. You can cuss. You can say what you want to say.
It's not even that it's free. It's literally free. When you listen to Stern back in the day, it felt like, especially on terrestrial radio, it felt like the only person that was actually saying what he felt.
Right.
Everyone else was just reading scripts and doing what they were
following
doing.
directions.
And he was so big and powerful that he could just say, fuck you, I'm going to do, this is how I feel. And if you don't like it, fuck you, type shit. Until they actually fucked with him and put him on pay. And I listened to it a little bit, but, because I used to be able to find it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I used to have to be at work at, I think, about 6 in the morning. He used to come on real early, like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah, 5 to 10.
One day I was driving to work. I didn't know who Howard Stern was. I was flicking the radio dial, and he was talking to, I think he was talking to Ice Cube, one of those guys. And so I stopped to listen. Who is this, right? You know, I've been listening to him ever since.
Yeah, it costs money, and it's one of those things where.
When I first bought my car, they gave it to me for free for a year.
Yeah.
They hook you.
Well, it was also when you have the sporadic job. Like, I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning to listen to Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And when you had the Sirius app at the time, it's the only time you could hear him. They'd replay it, but it's not the same.
They replay it over and over again all day.
Yeah, but listening to it live is different.
Well, it's better.
Yeah, it's just better.
More spontaneous.
You know, because that's when, like you said, when I listen to him working at ER, I have to be there at 8 in the morning every morning, so it's like an hour and a half drive to work.
Yeah.
You know, that's fucking.
That's a long drive.
Well, it's only 45 minutes if there's no traffic. But
right,
there's always
but there's traffic, yeah.
Like always traffic, especially down that corridor. And I'm in a fucking Durango.
I used to hate to get up early in the morning to go to work. I used to hate that shit.
Yeah, because people forget that the government basically pushed him off the radio. They took away his freedom of speech.
Was it FCC?
Yeah, we got to worry about the Nazis and whether the fuck we give a fuck about whether they can speak or not at a goddamn college that no one wants them at.
This those
That's what we worry about. Yet, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Don't try to.
I don't want you at my college. We don't have people that like you. Oh, there's 2 people. Okay, well, deal with them outside of the college.
Don't even try to make sense of it.
It doesn't. It's like it's amazing because it feels like the bully is just bullying. They just go, okay, well, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna blame you for what we're doing. I'm gonna punch you in the face, and I'm gonna be mad at you for punching you in the face.
Yeah, for me punching you in the face.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy town. Mm-hmm. It is crazy town for real, though, man.
I know.
It ain't never been this crazy. I'm telling you, it ain't never been this crazy.
It makes you wonder if Matrix was real.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, this is actually.
It just sounds. It feels like a movie
or
a
game.
play or a game.
Have you seen? Because you haven't watched Rick and Morty yet, have you?
No.
Okay. If you ever see it on TV and you're sitting at home, watch it. It's fucking funny.
They were talking about it on.
Yeah. So there's an episode where they get these chips and they go to this fucking like Dave and Buster's is now.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right,
Food. It's called Blips and Chips or some shit like that.
Okay.
And he puts him in, like he puts Morty in a game, and it's called, I forget what it's called. It's called Paul or something like that. But you basically live the life from the birth all the way till you die. That's
in the game.
Yes. Like when he dies, because he like it's hilarious because he goes through and he basically he's a baby, he's a little boy, he gets straight A's, he's valedictorian, and on top of that he's like the football star, he marries the prom girl.
Oh, the perfect life.
Yeah. Then he has like but nothing goes right because he had everything in the beginning, so he's a carpet salesman now.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? He has to go work for the girl's fucking mom or dad at a fucking car, as a carpet salesman, so he spends his life doing that.
Yeah.
And then he has a heart attack.
This is all in the game.
Yeah, this is all in the game. Survives the heart attack or cancer. No, he has cancer. He survives the cancer, goes back to the fucking thing, to working at the fucking carpet place. And then dies by carpet falling on him at like 60 or 53 years old, right? So like Morty snaps out of it. Like this is a game. Morty thinks he's this guy,
right? And
lives his whole life, and then snaps out of it.
No, wait a minute. Is this animation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he snaps out of it, and he's like trying to figure out what the fuck happened. And then he's like, "It's just a game, Morty." And then he gets it on. Rick puts it on, and he like, "Oh, he's not going back. He's running through. He's spending all his credit. Blah blah blah." Like doing all the bad shit because he knows it's a game.
He knows it's a game,
yeah,
right?
So he's like living the life. That's gonna be games in the future. And what if that's now?
Yeah.
Hold on. You know who Ari Shaffir is, right?
Yeah.
You ever hear his story about how he lived like 2 or 3 months of his life, or of a different life? He did that.
Oh, the hallucination.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
That. What is that shit called?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, the Stiva or not Stiva. Salvia. Yeah.
Right.
So he did some salvia, and I guess he said he lived 3 months of life with a new girlfriend, a new apartment.
Right.
Like
I know what you're talking about.
And then woke the fuck up, and it had been like 15 minutes.
Right. He lived a few years in 15 minutes.
Exactly. Well, no, months.
Months. Yeah. Right.
So, like, I wonder.
You ever do that stuff, Salvia?
No, I never found. It never came in my path, and I'm cool with just doing the mushrooms every once in a while. Like, even mushrooms, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I feel like meditation doesn't. You can get to the same place in meditation at a certain point. It just takes forever. You know, it takes years to get there.
Yeah.
Where mushrooms will fucking hit you there and show you glimpses of what it can be, and I still have some things in there on the inside that I haven't figured out what they are that cause anxiety, and you know what I'm saying, like my thetans. You know what thetans are, right? Okay.
But we all got them.
Mm-hmm.
Some worse than others.
I know. Well, some are big alien souls, some are less big. So I got my thetans.
You know, some people try to figure out what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. If you don't know, look it up. If not, watch Coming Out the Closet with the South Park Coming Out the Closet. You'll understand then. But I need to. There's some other things in there that I don't want to. I want to get to in a even plane, not that kind of steroidy Russian plane. You know, before. And on top of that, I know the real questions I have. I'm not going to get with mushrooms. I'll get them with something else, like
over time,
ayahuasca, a better
or something else.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
That's true. All right, let's end that on this one because I got people coming. That's 20.